Reclaiming your power, bold strategies for handling disrespect and setting boundaries. Have you ever encountered those individuals who seem to delight in testing your limits, acting as though respect is merely an optional courtesy? Perhaps they habitually interrupt your conversations, deliver passive-aggressive remarks cloaked in humor, or generally treat your time and emotions as though they hold little value, leaving you questioning whether to simply smile and passively accept their behavior or to assert yourself and demand the respect you deserve. If you're weary of enduring those who consistently fail to acknowledge your worth, then consider this your call to action. It's time to reclaim your power and establish clear boundaries that unequivocally communicate where the line is drawn. This isn't about fostering aggression or engaging in conflict, but rather about cultivating a deep sense of self-respect and implementing practical strategies to navigate disrespectful behavior without compromising your composure or sacrificing your inherent dignity. The goal is to equip you with the tools necessary to confidently address disrespect, not by stooping to the level of the offender, but by elevating yourself through self-assuredness, strategic communication, and an unwavering commitment to your own well-being. This journey begins with understanding the dynamics of disrespect, recognizing the motivations behind such behavior, and challenging the societal norms that often encourage passive acceptance of mistreatment. It's about rejecting the notion that enduring disrespect is somehow noble or virtuous, and instead embracing the belief that you are inherently worthy of respect and that you have the right to demand it from those around you. This isn't a quest for external validation, but rather an internal affirmation of your value, a recognition that your worth is not contingent upon the opinions or actions of others, but rather is intrinsic and immutable. Once you've embraced this fundamental truth, you can begin to implement practical strategies for handling disrespect, starting with the cultivation of self-awareness, the development of effective communication skills, and the establishment of clear boundaries that protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. It's about learning to recognize disrespectful behavior, understanding its impact on your self-esteem, and developing the confidence to address it directly and assertively, without resorting to anger, defensiveness, or passive aggression. This requires a shift in mindset, a conscious decision to prioritize your own well-being and to refuse to tolerate behavior that diminishes your sense of self-worth. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose how you respond to disrespect, that you can control your emotions, and that you can assert your boundaries in a way that is both respectful and effective. The key is to approach each situation with a clear intention, a commitment to maintaining your composure, and a willingness to stand up for yourself without compromising your values or engaging in unnecessary conflict. This is a journey of self-discovery, a process of learning to recognize your own worth, to assert your boundaries, and to navigate the complexities of human interaction with grace and strength. And now, let us embark on this transformative journey together, exploring the bold strategies that will empower you to handle disrespect with confidence and reclaim your power in all aspects of your life. Bold strategies for handling disrespect and reclaiming your power. The first and perhaps most surprisingly effective strategy in your arsenal is to embrace the silent stare, harnessing the profound power of nonverbal communication. In a world saturated with noise and constant interaction, silence can become an incredibly potent tool, particularly when confronted with disrespectful behavior. The silent stare, seemingly simple, can be remarkably unsettling, throwing off those who seek to provoke a reaction and disrupting their carefully constructed attempts to assert dominance. Individuals who habitually disrespect others often thrive on eliciting a response. They desire to witness you stammer, become flustered, or retaliate, providing them with an opportunity to draw you into their drama and reaffirm their own sense of superiority. However, when you respond with a calm, unwavering, and expressionless gaze, the power dynamic shifts instantaneously, leaving them disoriented and uncertain of how to proceed. You might question the efficacy of such a seemingly passive approach, wondering how a mere look can possibly deter disrespectful behavior. But consider the inherent message conveyed by the silent stare. It communicates a refusal to engage in their game, an assertion of your right to peace and dignity, and an unwavering confidence in your own self-worth. It signifies that you are not easily manipulated, that their words hold no power over you, and that you will not be drawn into their negativity. This is not about aggression or intimidation, but rather about projecting an aura of self-assuredness that disrupts their attempts to undermine you. The silent stare acts as a mirror, reflecting back their actions and forcing them to confront the inappropriateness of their behavior. It challenges their assumption that they can control your emotions and dictate your reactions, demonstrating that you are in command of your own inner state and that you will not be swayed by their attempts to provoke you. The beauty of this strategy lies not only in its ability to halt disrespectful behavior in its tracks but also in its capacity to strengthen your own self-respect. Standing tall, remaining composed, and refusing to react reminds you that their words and actions cannot shake you, that your value is inherent and immutable, and that you are not defined by the opinions of others. This is a powerful affirmation of your self-worth, reinforcing your belief in your own inherent dignity and your right to be treated with respect. A personal anecdote illustrates the transformative power of the silent stare. During a family gathering, one particular relative seemed intent on criticizing everything from the food and decor to the stories shared by other family members. When he directed a disrespectful comment toward me, rather than engaging in an argument or reacting defensively, I simply looked at him, maintaining a silent and expressionless gaze. To my surprise, he began to fumble, grew visibly uncomfortable, and eventually ceased his critical commentary. For the remainder of the event, he refrained from bothering anyone, treating me with a newfound respect, as though he had finally grasped that I was not someone he could easily dismiss. This experience underscored the profound impact of the silent stare, demonstrating that sometimes the most effective way to protect yourself is to say nothing at all. When you meet someone's gaze with that steady, silent look, you are communicating volumes without uttering a single word, asserting your right to peace and dignity and refusing to be drawn into their negativity. The magic of the silent stare resides not only in its ability to stop disrespectful behavior but also in its power to strengthen your own self-respect, reinforcing your belief in your inherent worth and your right to be treated with dignity. So, the next time someone is rude, crosses a line, or attempts to diminish you, try the silent stare, letting them feel the weight of your calm and self-assuredness. You may be surprised at how unsettled it makes them and how empowered it makes you feel. The silent stare communicates that you respect yourself too much to be dragged into their negativity, and that is a message well worth sending, a powerful affirmation of your self-worth and your right to be treated with respect. Closely related to the silent stare is the strategy of embracing silence as your answer, recognizing that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. In a society that often equates silence with weakness or passivity, it can be challenging to embrace this approach, particularly when confronted with disrespectful behavior. However, silence is far from being weak, it is a conscious choice, a deliberate act of self-control that can be incredibly empowering. When you choose not to engage in someone else's negativity, you force them to sit alone with their own actions, deprived of the attention and validation they seek. This silence speaks volumes, communicating that you are not willing to waste your energy on their disrespect and that they are not worthy of your time or your words. Individuals who disrespect others often expect a reaction, they are looking for an argument, a defense, or even just a hint of confusion to validate their behavior. Silence, however, denies them this satisfaction, communicating that you are not giving them your energy and that you will not be drawn into their drama. It is a subtle reminder that they are not worth your time or your words, a powerful assertion of your self-worth and your refusal to engage in their negativity. In essence, silence becomes a form of non-communication, a potent message that conveys far more than words ever could. The beauty of this approach lies in its ability to strip negativity of the attention it craves, forcing the offender to confront the consequences of their own actions without the distraction of an external response. Here's the deeper message: when you choose silence, you are choosing yourself, prioritizing your peace and well-being over the need to defend or explain yourself to those who do not respect you. This is not merely empowering, it is transformative, allowing you to reclaim your energy and refocus it on pursuits that align with your values and contribute to your personal growth. We often feel pressured to respond to every rude comment, every passive-aggressive criticism, every disrespectful remark that comes our way. However, by embracing silence, you are refusing to play by their rules, holding your ground without lifting a finger, and demonstrating that they are not worthy of your words. It's not just about controlling the situation, it's about reclaiming your energy, preventing others from accessing your inner world, and living life on your own terms. Learning to embrace silence is not always easy. It requires a conscious effort to resist the urge to react, to suppress the desire to defend yourself, and to trust that your silence will speak louder than words. Initially, you may fear that by not standing up for yourself, you will appear weak or passive. However, you will soon discover that silence is anything but weak. It is a powerful assertion of your self-worth, a demonstration of your self-control, and a refusal to be drawn into negativity. Each time you reply to those who disrespect you, you end up feeling drained and depleted. However, when you stay silent, allowing their comments to pass by like white noise, you realize that you feel lighter, stronger, and more in control, as though you are reclaiming a part of yourself each time you choose silence over reaction. I recall a personal experience that underscored the transformative power of silence. I once had a friend who couldn't resist making little jokes that crossed the line, masking their insults as humor and believing that they were engaging in harmless fun. One day, they made an unnecessary remark about my personal life, clearly intending to provoke me. Normally, I would have tried to explain myself or perhaps even retaliated with a sarcastic comment of my own. However, this time, I chose a different approach. I simply looked at them, raised my eyebrows slightly, and said nothing, allowing their words to hang in the air and forcing them to sit with the awkward silence that followed. They didn't know how to react. They glanced away, mumbled something, and quickly changed the subject. After that incident, they stopped directing their nonsense toward me altogether, as though they had realized that I was not someone they could easily throw off balance. That silent look did more than words ever could. It shut down their behavior and demonstrated that I was not willing to play along with their games. So, the next time someone disrespects you, stop, take a deep breath, look them in the eye, and say nothing. Let your silence speak, communicating your self-worth and your refusal to engage in their negativity. You may be surprised by how uncomfortable it makes them and how liberated it makes you feel. Consider silencing your answer, because sometimes saying nothing is the loudest statement you can make, a powerful affirmation of your self-worth and your right to be treated with respect. Another strategy for handling disrespect is to stop explaining your choices, recognizing that you owe no one an explanation for how you choose to live your life. Have you ever noticed how every time you make a personal decision, there's always someone who wants to know why? Why did you choose that career path? Why didn't you attend that particular event? Why did you leave that seemingly stable job? It seems as though many people feel entitled to know the reasoning behind every decision you make, as though your life were open for public debate and evaluation. However, the truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation about how you live your life. That choice is yours alone, and you don't need to justify it to anyone. This may sound a bit unconventional, perhaps even a bit rebellious, but let's be honest, when someone questions your decisions, they usually don't genuinely want to understand. They want to judge, they want to pressure you into rethinking or doubting yourself, or they simply want to feel better about their own choices by making you second-guess yours. You don't have to play along with this game. You have the right to make your own decisions without seeking the approval or validation of others. When you stop explaining yourself, you regain control, demonstrating that your life isn't open for debate or evaluation and that you are confident enough in your choices to stand by them without needing to justify them to anyone. Why do people feel entitled to explanations in the first place? Often, it's because your decisions challenge their worldview, disrupting their sense of comfort and security. Perhaps you're taking risks that they're too scared to try, or perhaps you're stepping out of a comfort zone that they find reassuring. But just because your independence makes them uncomfortable doesn't mean you need to ease their discomfort. Your life isn't a public service announcement, and you don't owe anyone explanations for your choices. The decision of what to do with your life is your own. I recall a personal experience that underscored the power of not explaining myself. When I decided to change careers, leaving a stable job for something I was passionate about, even though it came with greater risks and uncertainties, people reacted as if I had announced I was moving to Mars. Everyone wanted to know why I would give up a stable job in favor of something so unconventional. At first, I tried to explain, sharing my passion for the new field and outlining my plans for success. However, the more I explained, the more people questioned my decision, planting seeds of doubt in my mind and making me second-guess myself. Then, one day, when someone asked me why I was making such a drastic change, I simply replied, "Because I want to," offering no further details or explanations. To my surprise, the silence that followed was deafening. People didn't know how to respond because I had taken away their right to question my choices, asserting my independence and refusing to engage in their attempts to undermine my confidence. And you know what? Eventually, they stopped asking, realizing that I was not going to be swayed by their opinions or pressured into justifying my decisions. This is the beauty of not explaining yourself. It sets you free, allowing you to live your life on your own terms without seeking the approval or validation of others. When you stand firm in your truth, knowing that your decisions are valid simply because you made them, you stop wasting energy on explanations and start putting that energy into truly living the life you want. There's a deeper lesson here. Your life doesn't need audience approval. Not every decision has to be analyzed or approved by others. And when you stop explaining yourself, you're telling everyone, "I'm confident enough in my choices that I don't need your approval." Think about it. When was the last time you saw someone truly confident breaking down their decisions for others? Probably never, because those who master their own lives don't seek outside validation. They know that the only approval that matters is their own. So, the next time someone questions your choices, resist the urge to explain. Just say, "Because I want to," or "It's the right choice for me," and let the silence speak for itself. Watch how powerful that simple statement can be. You'll feel stronger, more in control, and more at peace with yourself, and you'll realize that your choices don't need anyone else's approval. They hold value simply because you made them. Shifting the focus to physical and emotional well-being, it's crucial to keep your distance from individuals who consistently disrespect your boundaries. Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, some people simply disregard your worth and personal boundaries, treating you as though your time, energy, and emotions are theirs to exploit? Here's a hard truth. Not everyone deserves a front-row seat in your life. Some individuals are simply not capable of treating you with the respect and consideration you deserve. If someone continually disrespects you, one of the healthiest choices you can make is to keep your distance, creating physical and emotional space between yourself and that person. This doesn't mean you harbor hatred or overreact with anger. It means you respect yourself enough to protect your energy and peace, refusing to subject yourself to their toxic behavior. Maintaining distance isn't about being cold or ignoring others. It's about choosing where and how to spend your time and emotional investment, prioritizing your own well-being and refusing to allow others to diminish your sense of self-worth. Think of your life as a private club with restricted access. Not everyone gets a VIP pass. If someone repeatedly crosses boundaries, making you feel exhausted or uneasy, there's no reason to keep them close. Creating distance gives you the clarity to see things as they are, unclouded by emotional manipulation or guilt. When you let those who disrespect you stay in your orbit, it's like inviting them to an emotional buffet, where they can criticize, judge, and diminish you at will. And then we often wonder why we feel drained, anxious, or disappointed in ourselves, failing to recognize that we are allowing others to erode our self-esteem and compromise our well-being. Giving yourself space from these people is an act of self-protection. It's about safeguarding your mental well-being, preserving your peace, and making room for those who genuinely respect and uplift you, creating an environment where you can thrive and flourish. One particular anecdote illustrates the importance of creating distance from toxic individuals. I remember having a friend who never missed an opportunity to throw in a snide comment about my choices, my career, my relationships, even my taste in music. At first, I told myself that it was just their personality, that maybe I was overreacting, so I kept them close, trying to brush off their remarks and thinking it wasn't that big of a deal. But over time, those small remarks began to weigh on me, eroding my self-confidence and making me question my own worth. I realized I was walking on eggshells, always bracing myself for the next criticism, and that I was sacrificing my own peace of mind in an attempt to maintain the friendship. Then, one day, I decided I was done feeling small. I realized that I deserved to be surrounded by people who built me up instead of tearing me down. I didn't make a grand statement or confront them directly, I just started seeing them less, meeting up perhaps once a month instead of weekly, gradually creating distance between us. And you know what? I felt lighter, freer, and more at peace. With that space, I saw how toxic the friendship had become and realized I deserved friends who built me up instead of tearing me down, friends who celebrated my successes instead of minimizing them, and friends who supported my dreams instead of criticizing them. Some people might tell you that distancing yourself is selfish, they'll say, but they're family, or you've known them for years, attempting to guilt you into maintaining the relationship, regardless of its negative impact on your well-being. You might feel uneasy, even guilty, admitting that someone close to you isn't good for you, particularly if they are a family member or a longtime friend. Society teaches us to be loyal, forgiving, and kind, but at what cost? How much of your own well-being are you willing to sacrifice in order to maintain a relationship that is detrimental to your mental and emotional health? Here's a little secret: protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. You're not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag or their constant source of validation. You deserve to be treated with respect and consideration, and if someone is not capable of providing that, you have the right to distance yourself from them, regardless of their relationship to you. Sometimes, the best way to show someone you've had enough is simply to take a step back, creating space for yourself to heal, grow, and thrive. The deeper truth is that distancing yourself is a powerful reminder that you are your own priority, you don't have to play the role others assign to you, and you don't owe anyone access to your mind, time, or emotions. When you put space between yourself and those who don't respect you, you're making a declaration that your well-being comes first, that you will no longer tolerate being subjected to their toxic behavior, and that you are worthy of being surrounded by people who genuinely value and support you. And it's not just about self-care. Creating respectful distance also gives you a chance to refocus on the relationships that truly matter, the ones that lift you up, inspire you, and contribute to your personal growth. Think about it: the more time you spend with people who respect you, the more confident and fulfilled you feel. The less time you spend with those who bring you down, the less space they have to affect your thoughts, mood, and life. I used to feel very guilty about distancing myself from people who weren't kind to me, wondering if maybe I was overreacting, if perhaps I was being too sensitive. But over time, I realized that creating distance isn't just about keeping negativity at bay, it's about creating space for growth, for healing, and for the development of healthier and more fulfilling relationships. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where you are constantly disrespected, remember that you have the power to choose who you allow into your life and how much access they have to your time and energy. By prioritizing your own well-being and creating distance from those who bring you down, you are taking a powerful step toward reclaiming your power and creating a life filled with respect, joy, and fulfillment. And the last key strategy is to hold your head high, projecting an unwavering sense of self-worth and refusing to allow others to diminish your inherent dignity. Have you ever felt like someone was deliberately trying to make you feel small, as if they enjoyed belittling you and undermining your confidence? In those moments, you might have heard the classic advice, hold your head high, a phrase that, while seemingly simple and even cliché, holds a powerful truth when dealing with people who lack respect. When someone disrespects you, they are often looking to see you lower yourself, to make you question your own worth, to force you to bow your head in shame or step back in deference. They want to believe that they have the power to control your emotions, to dictate your reactions, and to diminish your sense of self-worth. But when you stand tall and hold your head high, you're sending a silent message that says, I know my value, and nothing you do will diminish it. I am worthy of respect, and I will not allow you to undermine my confidence or compromise my dignity. The power of this gesture lies in its projection of confidence, a quality that can make others uncomfortable, especially those who habitually put others down in an attempt to elevate themselves. These individuals rely on the idea that their words or actions can control you, that they can make you waver in your self-belief and question your own worth. But when you refuse to let their disrespect affect you, when you walk tall and self-assured, you're showing them that they don't hold that power, that you are unbreakable, and that their attempts to diminish you are futile. This realization can throw them off balance, making them question their own power rather than yours, disrupting their carefully constructed attempts to assert dominance and undermine your confidence. One personal experience underscores the transformative power of holding your head high. I remember once dealing with someone who seemed to take pleasure in throwing digs my way whenever we met, someone who was always smirking and always had a joke ready that felt more like an attack than a light-hearted jest. At first, I tried to brush it off, telling myself that I was being too sensitive, but honestly, it bothered me every time I was around them. I felt like I had to put up a shield to protect myself from their negativity, and that I was constantly on guard, bracing myself for the next criticism. Then, one day, I decided I was done feeling small. I realized that I deserved to be treated with respect and that I was not going to allow this person to diminish my sense of self-worth. I walked into our next meeting head high, shoulders back, and a confident smile on my face. Each time they made a snide remark, I just looked at them, smiled, and continued as if nothing had happened, refusing to allow their words to penetrate my armor of self-assuredness. The incredible thing was that they started to back off, their attempts to provoke me becoming less frequent and less pointed. They could sense that their words no longer reached me, that I had risen above their negativity, and that their power to diminish me had begun to fade. There's something magnetic about holding your head high. It's like an invisible wall, a psychological shield that only you can create, protecting you from the negativity and disrespect of others. People who don't respect you tend to dislike this, because it disrupts their worldview, challenging their assumption that they can dominate you and that they somehow own a part of you. When you walk with confidence, it shatters their script, breaks down the narrative they've created, and forces them to confront the reality that you are not defined by their opinions or actions. Sometimes, this may make you a target, causing them to intensify their efforts to diminish you. But remember that holding your head high isn't for them, it's for you. It's an expression of self-respect, a way of living with confidence in your own worth without needing anyone else's validation. Holding your head high is also a profound message of self-respect. It says, no matter what you say or do, I still see myself as deserving of respect. My self-worth isn't something you wait for others to grant you, it's something you give yourself. You live as if you already have everything you need, because the truth is, you do. You are inherently worthy of love, respect, and happiness, and no one has the right to take that away from you. Holding your head high reminds you that you are the main character in your own story, that no one else's opinion has the right to make you feel less, and that you have the power to choose how you respond to the negativity of others. Initially, this wasn't easy for me. I used to bow my head, avoid eye contact, and shrink myself to avoid being hurt when faced with criticism. I allowed the opinions of others to dictate my sense of self-worth, and I constantly sought external validation to feel good about myself. But over time, I realized that every time I held my head high, every time I refused to let someone's negativity seep into my soul, I felt stronger, more resilient, and more confident in my own worth. It was a reminder to myself that my worth doesn't rely on anyone's approval, that I am inherently worthy of love and respect, and that I have the power to choose how I respond to the negativity of others. Holding your head high is not just about physical posture, it's about mental posture too. When you walk into a room, do it as if you belong there, confident in your own worth and deserving of respect. Don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be, embrace your authentic self, and allow your inner light to shine brightly. If someone throws a nasty comment your way, let it pass, knowing that their words are a reflection of their own insecurities and not a reflection of your true worth. They're not seeing the real you, they're just projecting their own insecurities and limitations onto you, and their opinions hold no power over you unless you allow them to. So, the next time you face disrespect, take a deep breath, straighten your shoulders, hold your head high, and look them in the eye as if to say, I see you, but I'm above this. Your negativity has no power over me, and I will not allow you to diminish my sense of self-worth. You'll feel a surge of confidence, a sense of peace in knowing that their words have no power over you, and a renewed commitment to living your life with dignity and self-respect. Remember, respect starts with you. The more you respect yourself, the less room there is for others' disrespect to cling to you. Stand tall, embrace your worth, and know that you're worthy of every ounce of confidence, love, and respect that life has to offer. Living a life of self-respect and boundary setting. Therefore, in navigating a world where disrespect can be a disheartening reality, remember that you possess the inherent power to reclaim your agency and cultivate a life characterized by self-respect and clearly defined boundaries. The strategies discussed, embracing the silent stare, embracing silence as your answer, stopping the need to explain your choices, keeping your distance, and holding your head high, are not merely tactics for deflecting negativity, but rather powerful tools for cultivating inner strength, asserting your worth, and creating a life that aligns with your values. Life is simply too short to contort yourself to fit into the limited perspectives of those who fail to appreciate your value. You don't require anyone's validation to stand tall, protect your peace, and live life authentically on your own terms. As you integrate these strategies into your daily interactions, remember that the journey toward self-respect is an ongoing process, one that requires patience, self-compassion, and a steadfast commitment to your own well-being. The rewards, however, are immeasurable: a life free from the burden of seeking external validation, a sense of inner peace that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others, and a confidence that emanates from a deep and unwavering belief in your own worth.